Hello everyone and welcome to part 2 of my top 21 games of the generation. This is the third time I'm fucking doing this now because I thought I was going to get interrupted during the second time. I had to cut though, but anyway, I hope you enjoyed the first part now, my top 21 games, 20 down 21 to 11, but here is my top 10 games. Might not be to everyone's taste, but it's my personal thing, so it's my opinion though, but I'd like to know what your games are as well. So feel free to post in the comments below, or tell me on Twitter. It'll be Darwin85 on Twitter. But anyway, let's get going. The first game, number 10, is a game that came out in 2012. It was my favourite game of that year. That is The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead in a way sort of brought Telltale games on the map, even though I think they were brought on the map before though, because they sort of brought the adventure genre back to life though, because adventure games were very popular in like the late 80s, early 90s now, but eventually they kind of waned in popularity, to the point they were kind of nearly non-existent in certain aspects in the 2000s, but Telltale games came along and sort of brought them back, and into the 21st century, and The Walking Dead is pretty much the prime example of why that is, why adventure games are sort of back with a bang, and it's fantastic to see, because The Walking Dead is just such a powerful game with its writing and the characters you come across. Like you play as protagonist Lee, and he's a black fella, which is you would see a lot of games that have a black protagonist though, but The Walking Dead did it, and it did a superb job with it. And the characters you come across through this 5-episode arc, Clementine, Kenny, Duck, and fucking some of the characters you meet, Omid and Krista, Ben, and Larry, and that there, and just Doug, and just some of the characters you come across, and just what makes this game so powerful as well is it's especially the writing and the interaction between the characters is just so believable, and some of the choices you have to make as well are just so moral and so heartbreaking. Like, oh man, what am I going to have to do here? I have to choose between this and that. Like, what the hell? Like, it's just so, and the fact is, you can't sit and ponder about it. It's like, okay, I'm going to wait here think about it for 5 minutes. No, there's a timer, and you have to think fast, or else you don't know what you might end up just triggering one for you, and you might say, oh man, I didn't want to do that one, and then sometimes it's just so, and I just love the fact the story changes. I was like, that sort of ends kind of the same though, but certain things happen with certain characters depending on what you said to them or what you did with them and all that there in the previous game. I love the fact it says Doug will remember that, and then he said, thanks for helping me out there, or something, like it's something that happened earlier in the stories. It's so great though that the journey you have is just so different though from other people's journeys in the game, and that's what makes this game so, like, the gameplay is not necessarily what's the main focus. It's just the whole story and the journey you go through with Lee and Clementine and that there, and just so powerful and just so enjoyable. You just want to see it through. It's so enjoyable, and just like it's just really, it's kind of moody. It's not a happy game. Like, you really are gonna feel like feely low in certain parts though, and like the endings is so, like, the ending's kind of sad as well, and you might get some bit emotional though. Like, fortunately I didn't, but I was very close to, and that's the power of video games. Number 9 is a game that came out in 2010. It was one of my favourite games of that year. It's a pretty awesome game. It's the second in the series, and that is, of course, Mass Effect 2. Now, I personally really like the Mass Effect trilogy as a whole though, but in my honest opinion, the second one is the best in the series. It just basically refined everything that was wrong in the first game and made it better. The only thing I missed from the first game that wasn't in the sequels was the whole loot, like kind of like the whole all miragerie of all the fucking weapons and armors you can use, rather than just say, hey, you have like a just set number of them in the sequels. So that's one thing I missed. So, and I I honestly didn't mind the Mako parts in the first game. They were a bit annoying though, but from personally I would prefer them rather than the mining stuff from the sequels. But everything else about this game is just so fantastic though. It's just an unbelievable sci-fi universe, and you as Commander Shepard just go through this journey. Like it starts off with a bang with a normally just going to hell, getting annihilated, by the collectors, the reapers or the collectors or whatever, and you pretty much have to, then you pretty much got rebuild, revived, and you give them a task where they lose a man to go on a suicide mission through the Omega 4 relay. You might not come back, you might die, your comrades might die, hence why it is a suicide mission. But the journey you go through, recruiting these people and the dialogue options you go through them though, like some of them you have to sort of choose the right things, or else they're going to be cold towards you and all that there as well. And the loyalty missions are great though, because you have each of the ones you recruit have a loyalty mission, and they become they will like you and be dependent on you. If you ever feel like you need them, they'll be there for you if you want to do these loyalty missions. It's pretty cool and they're very fun to do. And like the shooting aspect is much more refined. And it's just a really great, beautiful sci-fi universe to go through. And a lot of people really compare it to Star Wars. And I can say that, because it's a very good universe though, and the cast of characters you come across, whether it's Garrus or, Tali or, Liara from the DLC, or Miranda or Thane or, Saeed, who's this DLC as well. Just, it's a really great cast of characters though. You might hate some, you might love others, it doesn't matter, because there's always but it's the journey you go through as Commander Shepard. Like the journey, you're going to have a different journey from someone else because of the dialogue options and the way you interact with people, where you go with Paragon or Renegade and that there. It's just a fantastic game though, and I can see why this will be a lot of people's favourite game of the generation. It's definitely one of mine. It was just a fantastic game. Number 8 came out on the Wii. It was a Wii U. It's not a Wii U, not Wii game, Wii launch game. It's pretty much the game the reason I got the Wii for. So it was when it came out. I got up early. I was waiting in line next to my store to get one. I never do that, and but I did with the Wii, and I wasn't disappointed with it. As of course Zelda Twilight Princess. It was one of my most anticipated games of that year, 2006, and to me this is the best 3D Zelda there has been that came out this generation. I think Skyward Sword was a disappointment, so not much because I didn't finish it. Just didn't really get into it as much as I did with this one, because I did everything in this game. I got all the hard pieces, I got all the pole souls, I did the sort of this gauntlet cave. I forget exactly what it's called, but it's sort of pretty much this versions of the sort of treacherous tower that's in between worlds. But I actually just enjoyed the world in this one more. I just felt like it was more connected than the sort of one in Skyward Sword, because there's like the skyloft and then there's the surface, but this one's more connected, and it's like I really like this sort of Hyrule world, and I like the controls. So even though this was a Wii game, and it eventually was originally a GameCube game, which did come out though, but like a few weeks later I think it was. But I just really enjoyed the pointer, just shooting yowls, but it just felt so fun to do, and the dungeons in this are just so fun to explore, like the Arbiter's Ground where you're in this cog spinner, and this you're in this big abdominal snowman, so Yeti's house for one, and I love the fact that Hyrule Castle's the final dungeon's pretty cool, and the 4-face fight with Ganondorf at the end is pretty awesome as well. And really did enjoy this game though, and to me, a lot of people don't like this one. They think this one's crap. I don't think so. I think this is the better Zelda that came out this generation on consoles, in my honest opinion. Number 7 is a game that came out in 2008. It was one of my favourite games that came out that year, of course. It was my most surprising game of that year, because I did not expect to enjoy it as much as I thought I would though, but I did. And it's my favourite in the series, and that is Metal Gear Solid 4 Guns of the Patriots. Now I played the previous Metal Gear Solid games before that. I finished 1, I finished 2, never finished 3, but I watched the Existence 4 version of it that came on subsistence disc shortly before 4 came out, so I sort of got the story of that, even though it is a prequel. But 4 I just played, and I just was surprised at how much I really liked this game. Heck, I got the PS3 with it. That's the game I got the PS3 for, and it was worth it. Um, I just really couldn't believe how much I liked this game though. It has a lot of really great set piece moments though. You know, the motorcycle chase in the eastern part, the Metal Gear Rex versus Metal Gear Ray, the radiator part you have to crawl through and it's like you get burnt. It's like, oh my god, you just tap the X button to save your life. It's really doing it because you don't want Snake to die. And like Snake's this old sort of haggard like man now at this point though because of the aging process, and he goes through hell and back in this game though. He just gets really punished in certain spots in this game, but he perseveres, and it all ends with an absolutely awesome showdown with Liquid Ocelot though. Like, it's not guns blazing, it's not like explosions everywhere. It's just all down to a fist fight to the death though. That is my favourite moment in this game. The final boss battle between Liquid Ocelot, and the fact that the music goes through each of the different games, you know, music and the bar stuff. The whole transitional sequences between them, those are so fantastic though, and absolutely really enjoy playing Metal Gear Solid 4 though. Like, I don't have it anymore though because I gave it away as a secret Santa gift, and I really want to go back to it because it might be looking through rose tinted glasses, I guess though, because I haven't touched the game since I finished it back in 2008 though, but it was just such a memorable game for me though, and that's the reason why it's still one of my favourite games and why it's in the top 10 list, because the experience I had playing it though back then was just so great that it's stuck with me all this time, and that's why it's one of my favourite games in the generation. Number 6 is one of a few JRPGs coming up now. This game also came out in 2008. I just really love this game though, just for various reasons. So, I think it's one of the best JRPGs that came out in the 360 and on like the generation though. That is of course Lost Odyssey. Now, it's been done by Mistwalker, which did Blue Dragon previously. That came out the previous year to this, which I thought was a pretty good game though, but didn't really have a great story. But this one fixed pretty much problems I had with Blue Dragon though. It just had a really engrossing story, very interesting characters, beautiful soundtrack, and a really great world to explore though. And because it had an overworld map as well, which is great. Like, you play as Kane, who's this immortal, and you come across you meet with yourself as well as this other immortal, and there's a few other immortals in the game as well. Like, one of them is actually sort of your wife, I believe. And it's just really a powerful game as well, because it's pretty much like a JRPG for trade. Yeah, so sort of there to stop this sort of guys sort of, you know, mal and power and out there. But the journeys that each of the characters go through are very interesting indeed though. And Jensen, who's this kind of you know, sort of comedy character I guess at first though, but then he has his own little storyline, and it's very good as well, and he falls in love with this sort of Queen Ming, was it? I think it was, who's another immortal though, and it's just a beautiful story to go through. And one of my favourite parts of the game is the 1,000 Years of Dreams, where these very beautifully written little stories that feature Kane, very beautiful to read though, and it's quite heartbreaking and sad though, because some of them are just so, you know, sad to read. It's because the telling these sort of stories of Kane and going through these various different areas and meeting these guys and becoming good friends with them, and then they eventually pass and die, while he unfortunately has to live on because he's immortal. And just a very well written though, and definitely one of the best aspects of this game though. You find them throughout the you find them throughout the game as well in certain areas though, and just I just want to read. I read every single one I found though. I just loved reading them. They're just very well done. And like the gameplay, it's very traditional JRPG fare, but I like the whole ring system where it's like this ring comes and you sort of have to time it right to get the best attack. And they've got the music done by Nobuo Matsu, of course, fantastic. The battle thing, especially the gun barrel of battles, superb. And just really enjoy this game. It's a really great game. I spent 80 plus hours. I did everything there was. I got done all the side quests, did all the hidden bosses and that there. Like, I didn't do the DLC boss because there's a certain way you have to beat that boss, but I pretty much did everything else there was to do in the game anyway, and couldn't put it down. Absolutely loved it. Number 5 is another JRPG, and that is Tales of Vesperia. This was done by Namco. This came out in 2009. 08 in North America, 09 here. It's the game I pretty much spent the entire summer playing of that year, and I'm glad I did. I really just loved playing this game when it came out though, and like I played Tales games in the past, like I played Symphonia. That was my first one though, but I got to a point I got stuck in that though, but I really just got sucked into this game so much though, because I just really liked the graphics, and it kind of was a probably high point for me as well, because I just loved the cel shaded anime style to this game though, and to me it's my favourite looking Tales game by far. I think it looks better than the ones that have come out since then. I just love the colours that's used in the characters and the world you explore. They were just seems so really gleaming and nice so in this sort of art style. And the cast of characters, I just find them all likeable. I just find them all endearing and entertaining now. From Yuri to Judith to Flynn to Raven, and the skits though, as well as really quite. Some of them are quite humorous though, and just really add another level of enjoyment in the game itself though. And like I said, I spent 70 odd hours in this game though. It's a game I pretty much played throughout the summer, because luckily there wasn't anything out around that summertime until like Batman. So it was, but I'm glad I went into this game, because I really did enjoy this game though. And oh boy, music in it's very fun. I got the soundtrack to it, so I do. I've got the soundtrack to Lost Odyssey as well. The battle system is just really, really fun though. I just grind it sometimes just to sake of still doing the battles, because I really enjoyed doing the battles though. Oh man, it's awesome, and the music's great though. I love the fact there's different battle themes as you progress through the game as well. You don't have just the one battle theme. You have like several as you progress through the game as well. It's a very enjoyable game. The story is very interesting, and the cast of characters, some of the stories they go through is very just fun. And oh man, this is a great journey to go through. And I'd love to see a Tales of Vesperia 2, to be honest though. I don't think I will do one now though, but if I had another game on like the new generation of consoles, or even on the last gen here, a sequel with these cast of characters, I'd fucking pick it up day one. Number 4 is Bayonetta. Platinum Games' finest work to date, in my honest opinion though. Nothing has topped this in terms of just pure action, pure balls to the wall, non-stop epicness. Oh boy, I don't know what to say about this game. It was one of my favourite games of 2010. It would have been my favourite game of that year if it wasn't for something else. But oh boy, this is the first game that sort of came out in 2010, and man, it started off with a bang and then some. And it says here, so good it hurts. I couldn't put it better myself, to be honest. Bayonetta is just a perfect, it's kind of a perfect action game though. Like everything's about it's just so slick and stylish though, and just the combat, and it's just so fun though. It's racking up these combos and using your heels to shoot weapons. Like you can attach like either guns or shotguns, and you can attach even fucking rocket launchers to them. It's just so fucking zany, and Only Platinum Games can come up with something so ludicrous though, but just works so well in this game. And just some of the boss fights, like you fight a first boss fight, like whoa, that was pretty awesome. Like some of the boss fights in this game, you feel like they can be final boss fights in other games. They're so ridiculously, they're so fucking like sort of filling the screen, and just so epic and out there. And like the final boss in this game, Jubilees, is just fantastic. I fucking loved doing the final boss in this game, and I am so glad there's a sequel being made though. And like I didn't expect there to one to be. Like I really wanted one to be, and the next one there, back in 2012, and oh boy, I was so pumped. And really can't wait though. I just really hope it comes out this year on the Wii U, and man, just cannot wait for it. It's gonna be awesome, and this is an awesome game. Like the music in it fits for what it is. It's not necessarily the best, but the Fly Me to the Moon's cool. The homages to Sega, of course, little like the Halo things. You get the rings, the kind of rings from Sonic. There's like a section that's like Space Harrier. Oh man, it is an awesome game though. I loved it. Now we're into the top 3. Number 3 is a game that if you've been following me on Twitter over the last few weeks, and you pretty much know what this game is already though, but let's just put out and say it is Dark Souls. It is Fucking awesome. And this is probably my biggest surprise of the generation. The fact is, I did not expect to love this game as much as I do though. Like when I got to me, if I say when I look back at it, to me, if I could go back and change it, this would be my favorite game of 2011 though, easily though, because I just find this game actually more memorable now, and that's why it's in my top 3 games of the generation, because it stuck with me. It was more memorable, and I played through the game twice now, and I could easily play through it a third time now, because I just find most things about this, nearly everything about it, is so enjoyable. Like I love the combat, and I love the fact that each of the weapons have a weight to them though. Like you're not gonna swing a club, like a big ass club, over your shoulder like you're fucking waving a little stick now. You're not gonna do that. Each of them has the weight, and you feel it's gonna be slow but powerful. Whereas if you have like a scimitar or a katana or whatever, you can just swing easily because it's a small, speedy weapon. And the fact there's so many different builds that each character has, you can have your own different build where you just want to be a tank or you just want to be a mage or whatever. It's so cool. And I don't know how they did it, but From Software must be some sick fucks. And with some of the massive designs they've come up with, the monsters, the creatures, and the bosses you come across in the game, because they're so massive. It's just so absolutely cool looking though, that I feel like they come out of Bad Nightmare though, and it is so fun to take down certain bosses in this game though that give you a bit of trouble though. You just have to fist pump. It's fist pump in the air of the game pretty much, and just go, yes, try to beat that boss, and like your heart is fucking pounding though, just going a mile a minute though, and your hands are shaking, just goes, oh, I just don't want to fuck up here, almost got him, and boom, you got him, and you just feel so fucking relieved that you got to the next part. Like I just really loved that in the game when I played through it for the first time when it came out though, and I love the fact that this game's gotten quite popular though. Like a lot of people really love this game. I wouldn't expect it though, because it's a pretty hard game. It's not as hard as what people claim it is though, because if you get right to it though, like 9 times out of 10 when you die, it's your fault. So it is, but then you just want to sort of be cautious and go through these different areas, and you want to take your time because you don't know what's going to be around the next corner. Like you can be walking and all of a sudden, oh, I'm going to run along, and all of a sudden an enemy just comes and basically whacks you and you fall off the cliff and die, and you lost 50,000 souls just like that. It's like, damn it! But then you just want to continue, you just want to see the end of the game, you just want to kill every fucking enemy there is and just get to the end, and oh boy. You can see how much I love this game though, because I just played through the game now basically and played it for like 40 odd hours and just absolutely loved the game from start to finish, and I'm so looking forward to 2 though. It's easily my most anticipated game of 2014 though. I cannot wait for it though, but this game's awesome. The online system, the invasion stuff, I love as well. Like you human, and all of a sudden you're getting invaded by another player. You could come and just wreck your day, and you'd be annoyed. Like you might be in a hard part, and all of a sudden someone invades and just wrecks you, and just you'd be so annoyed. But it feels so. Um, you just feel so pumped. You just feel so pumped. Oh, I'm gonna kill you, this guy, or whatever, as well. And you just feel so happy as well, especially if you kill the invader, or you can invade someone else's world as well. It's pretty awesome. Just love everything about this game. Nothing wrong with this. I feel it's one of those great games. Number 2 is for the Wii. I'm gonna put, there's 2 games here. So there is. You might be wondering, okay, but I can't really differ between them now because I feel they're just the same kind of game overall. Because they are the same game kind of. The new one, but I just absolutely love them though. If I was to pick one, I'd pick the. If I was to pick one I like more, it'd be the sequel. But I just put them as two though because I just feel that the same sort of package overall though. They're just full of life, full of charm, excellent level design, beautiful music, perfect platforming. That is of course Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. This was my favourite game of 2010 and this was my second favourite game of 2007. So that goes to show how much I love these games. So Okami was my favourite game of 2007 and that's why I beat this though. But if it wasn't for Okami that came out in PS2 that year, it would have been it though. But it's a lot of people's favourite games of the generation though. Like I listened to a Games of the Generation podcast or CBG did, and it was from the voting that they did, it was their favourite game of the generation, the first one, and I'm so happy that I can see why, because it just missed out in the top market and spot for me. Ah boy, what can I say about this game that hasn't already been said though? I absolutely adore these games, so I feel that they're the definitive 3D Mario game. So like 3D World, fantastic game, but they're not as good to me as good. They're not as good as the Galaxy games for me, especially though. But playing through these games it just makes you realize why you fell in love with video games in the first place. So like just playing this for the first Super Mario Galaxy there when it came out there just brought me back to when I was a child playing the original Super Mario Bros. Games on the SNES and just falling in love with video games back then, and it just rekindles that spirit, just rekindles that joy you had playing those games for the first time, and just brings it into the new generation of gaming though, and just absolutely adored playing these games. And like as I say, I love the second one probably more, but it's a close race. It could be any, and like I just really do love them both though. Like they're my favourite games on the Wii for sure. Nothing's come close. Absolutely love the power-ups in the game, the Cloud 1 and 2 and like the Bee Suit and the Spring and Boo Mario and the inventive level design. Just something like Galaxy goes through. So man, sometimes you just want to go through the Galaxy again just because it was just so much fun to play through. And like getting some of the stars, especially in the second game, are pretty fiendishly tricky. Like the green stars in the second game are pretty tricky, some of them. But I did that for these games. I did everything there was to do in this game. Got all the stars in this game, all the 120 stars of Mario. There's 121 though, but in terms of the first playthrough, I got them all. Same with this one. I got all 242 stars in this game as well because I did not want to put them down. Absolutely adored playing these games. Just graphics are so beautiful. Like to me, this was never top in terms of the best looking Wii game. In my honest opinion, though. Just so full of life and charm and beautiful colours though. Just like I said with 3D World in my previous video, just so full of my eyes, just so shiny, everything's so cool to watch, and I absolutely love playing these games. And oh boy, soundtrack, like I said, superb. Gusty Garden Galaxy, just can't get enough of it though. Really do love these games. And oh boy, I really hope there's going to be another one of these kind of games on the Wii U. Really do hope there is. I don't know if there will be. Heck, if they did a HD version of these games, oh boy, I'd fucking bet it. No questions asked. And finally, we get into my game of the generation. What is it? Could it be? It is gonna be the one, the only writer. No, it's not gonna be a stupid joke again. Um, it would have been so sweet though, kind of been a full circle. This was actually the first game I played in the generation of the previous generation, but it wasn't, unfortunately though. But it's the first game. It's the game that I got the 360. I got the 360 for my 21st birthday, but it was this game that I wanted to get the 360 for when I saw it. And, I was not disappointed though. The game came out 8 years ago in March, and yet like, to me, the fact is that game came out 8 years ago. Like loads of games, loads of awesome games. You always saw them there. It came out before, like afterwards, years past. But this is still my favorite game of the generation. It came out 8 years ago in March, and yet it's not memorable to me. I played this game for months and put hours upon hours upon hours, and that is the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. It is the game of the generation for me because it's the one that it's the one that's like, wow, this is the next generation here. One that came out though, because the vast open world you explore of Cyrodiil, and just anywhere you can go, like you can go anywhere, like whoa, I can go up here, I can go down this city, I can go through these towns and cities and these caves and that there. It just makes you feel free to do whatever you want. Especially when you just go to the sewer area though, and once you open up and get out of the sewer area and you just see the vast landscape, I'm sure everyone just gaped in wonder, just open jaws, like wow, that looks incredible though. I'm sure everyone who played this game for the first time had that feeling though, and certainly I did when I did it. And I played this game for over 150 hours though, and I just absolutely adored it though. This is another game. This really brought a smile to my face though, and it's not a perfect game though. No game is perfect though, but it's the game that made me fall in love with sort of the Western RPGs though. I just loved exploring, just becoming this character, and interacting with these different people, and just doing these various quests, going on your own little adventures though with the Dark Brotherhood or the Mages Guild and that there, and just really having a really fun time doing so, and having the various spells. Like the combat necessarily isn't the greatest though, but it's just so fun though anyway to me though, just whacking and showing and blocking it off, and exploring these different caverns and these ruins and that though, and know what's going to be in there. It could be a flippin' little wee easy enemy, or it could be a flippin' Daedric enemy or something. Like, oh fuck, it's a Daedric prince or whatever, and a Daedric god or whatever, and you go through these gates of oblivion and that there as well. A lot of people like Skyrim is probably the better game overall though, in terms of like how it's made though, certain like the leveling up and that there. But to me, this is the one that lasted. To me, it lasted with me though, because I love the world in this game more. I love Cyrodiil in this more than Skyrim. I love the cities, the Imperial City, Kvatch, Skingrad. Like I can't even remember all the cities in Skyrim though. I know like Run and Windhelm. I can't really remember them that much to be honest though. But Skyrim's not a crap game. It's a great game. But this is the one that I just fell in love with in the first place. I played Morrowind before that though, but I don't know. I just didn't really get into it though as much. But this one got me into the Elder Scrolls series big time though, and oh boy, I couldn't put it down. I spent hours upon hours. Like I played this game for months though. I got it for my 21st. I got it for my 21st birthday though, and whew, it's probably the best present I ever got. With the 360 though, in terms of a birthday present. So, and I absolutely fucking love this game. Loved it. I adore this game though, and like I could probably go back and play it now though. I might do so because I actually I never did another character. I spent 151 odd hours with the one character, like this orc sort of barbarian, was it? I think it was, yeah, orc barbarian, and just never let go. Just a fantastic game. Just absolutely adore this game, and whoo boy. What's Elder Scrolls 6 gonna have in store? What's Elder Scrolls Online gonna have in store? They won't have as much as an impact as this one did with me, but all those years ago. March 26th, 2006, that's when I played this game. 2 days after the game came out. I never looked back. And that is it, folks. That is my top 21 games of the generation. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'd like to know what your favourite games of the generation are. So until then, guys, take care, and I'll see you all next time. Ciao!